Hello everybody and welcome to the Awesomenauts League with bets. My name is SlowWolf and I'm your caster for these matches. Today we've got match 2 between Team SKC and Team Gallo Sangan. The first match going to Team SKC, but it was not an easily won game. Momentum started off in their favor, but they started losing the game when Team Gallo came back with a Coco with knockback and a Skoldir, and the Clunk on their team just couldn't land explodes. But after a little bit of farming and enough time, Clunk got a couple of really good explodes off of multiple people, ensuring that they were on the right foot in those fights, and Leon got farm. And when Leon gets farm, games end. So Team SKC ended up taking back control of the game and took that all the way to the blue core, ending it for the first match of the series. In this second match, we are on Aiguillon, not Ribbit, and it's going to be a very gank-centric game. We're going to see what kind of lineups these two teams have for us, and they should be all kinds of exciting. And we're going to go ahead and start this thing in 3, 2, 1, go. And we're off. So as you guys can see, we're on Aiguillon. This is a very gank-centric lineup for multiple reasons. Primarily, there's lots of bushes and everything, but the centerpiece of the map is this invisibility here, and the control of it is going to be extremely important. Let's talk about the picks. So these are practically mirror match teams. On the red team, we've got Nello Dante on the Vinny. We've got Gallo P.O. on the Swiggins. And we've got Dave W. on the Lone Star. On the blue team, which might have to wait, Nello Dante going in for a dash. He gets grappled and he gets dropped and he is done. Wilbo Baggy getting grappled as well, but he's not going to die to it. He's just going to walk away and the teams sort of reset. But first blood going to Team SKC right off the bat. That was unfortunate. More of a misplay off of Nello Dante than anything. The poor fish. Kenix for SKC playing the Raylan. We've got Psychic Bob playing the Lone Star for SKC. And finally Wilbo Baggy. Instead of playing the Leon, he's playing the Swiggins. So a very different role in a sense. Although Wilbo Baggy did play him as an initiator in the last one. P.O. going in with a grapple and a drop. Both of which aren't going to be very useful. Wilbo Baggy taking a Trinomite. He's almost dead, but he gets away, and P.O. just unfortunately was counterattacked and died for the attempt on Wilbo Baggy's life. Nello Dante taking another Trinomite, but he should be perfectly fine. He ends up also picking up the Invis, which Psychic Bob knows he has. And then Nello Dante just breaks it, so nothing coming out of that Invis, unfortunately. So as you guys can see, the only main difference between these two teams right now is this Raylan and this Vinny. The other two team members are in a complete mirror match with the other team. Oh, P.O. going in for a grapple and a drop, but he gets completely counter-ganked. He had no idea that the blue team's friends were all up in the air. The entire team was up there, and he had no clue, poor guy. So he just jumps into another death, and that puts 3 kills on the board for Team SKC. Things are looking really good for them right now. But as I was saying before, these mirror matches are very important, and right now it looks like poor Bob is... Sorry, not Bob. But the poor Swiggins, P.O., is having a really tough time getting that initiation that they desperately want. Dave looking for an opening. There's a grapple. There's a drop. The drop misses, so the anchor goes down. P.O. without an anchor for the next couple of seconds. Nello Dante taking a snipe. Kenix going to be taking a dash in return, and she's going to get away just fine. P.O. is going to bounce out of there himself. Oh, Nello Dante probably in a rough spot. He does not end up getting grapple dropped, though. P.O. almost gets grapple dropped. He gets the grapple, but not the drop, so that's fine. Oh, Psychic Bob coming in. Dave W is looking for a way out. He gets grappled. He gets dropped. He puts out a bull. It's going to be enough to put a couple people away from him. He's going to probably be fine, but he decides to go back into the fight. Nello Dante taking a bunch of damage from him, trying to fight himself, but he does not end up going down. And so the two teams reset. Oh, there's some action happening down here. Grapple drop going on in Psychic Bob. There wasn't any follow-up. So P.O., unfortunately, finding openings. He's looking for blood, but he just... Every time that it happens, his poor team is either hurt and running away, or they're just not there fast enough. So Gallo looking for an opening, but not quite able to find it. So far, most of the kills on Team SKC have been from counter kills, where they've been sitting pretty, and then the red team gets a little bit too antsy, and then all of a sudden, hey, you know what? We can punish that. We can kill that, and they do. All 3 people on Team Gallo down here. And then they just go back upstairs. So right now they're farming between the lanes. Vinny ends up picking up Solar Cloud, so he's got money, or at least he will have money. That's going to enable him to farm very quickly and to be very safe now in these engagements. He shouldn't be taking nearly as much lethal damage now that he's healing as much as he is. Mechanics going for a snipe. Now, oh, grapple and a drop, but she hides behind the Time Rift. The Time Rift saving her in this case. That was a really well-placed Time Rift. If it were anywhere else, a little bit too far ahead or whatever, she probably would have been fish food right there. So I really want to talk about these picks. Oh, Nelodonte getting grappled, getting almost dropped, but it turns out that Dave is the one that gets dropped instead. Bull comes out for the blue team, and no one seems to be dying here. Kennex trying to look for an avenue for a snipe. Does not find it. But yeah, that was all kinds of exciting, and nothing ended up happening. That was very strange. So as I was saying, the picks for both teams are going to probably dictate a good chunk of how this fight's going to go. As I mentioned before, Swiggins is very gank-centric. That follows in with the whole Aegeon philosophy of, hey, you know what? This is the right map for it. Let's go ahead and jump in on things. And Team Gallo looking to really capitalize on that philosophy. They've got a Vinny and they've got a Swiggins, both of which are perfectly capable of just dashing and doing stuff. Dave almost managing to get off a bullpen, but he couldn't quite do it. The timing was just a little bit off. That would have been bad for Blue, but Blue was like, nope, we got this covered. We're looking good. We're looking pretty. We've got 3 kills on the board. You're just going to back off if you don't get a perfect initiation. So that's what the red team's currently looking for, is a perfect initiation. And as I was mentioning, they are well set up for that between Swiggins and Vinny. They can both dash. They can both do a crazy amount of damage once they get the farm. But they need to get that farm first. And right now it seems to be like they're having a hard time. The blue team, on the other hand, really good even right out of the gate between Snipe and Dynamite. Both of those being very powerful abilities. Psychic Bob looking to get away. And he is going to get away just fine. Vinny ends up going home to heal. Swiggins was looking for opening, couldn't quite find it. Oh, PO gets grappled, gets dropped, gets Trinamite. He's done. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time, unfortunately, and he just got chased down. And that's another thing that Swiggins can do, is chase. And that's where the blue team's picks come in. They've got a Lone Star, both teams do. And Lone Star is good for pushing and ganking in general. Like, Lone Star can do just about anything. Grapple, no drop. Nelodonte going to be perfectly fine. But the other thing that the blue team can do really well is sit back and enjoy the distance. With Raylan's snipe, they can do a lot of damage from far away, and Swiggins keeps people in place for the snipe. Oh, snipe just missing there. Nelodonte taking a little bit of return damage. Anchor grapple into drop. Nelodonte looking for an opening, but he ends up getting pinned instead, the poor guy. Dave W going to pick up the invis, and there's not going to be much out of there. So 5 kills for Team SKC right out of the gate. This is looking really bad for Team Gallo right now. Wilbo Baggy, he's just going to take up those creeps. He's going to get away. He's going to get dropped, and he gets caught in a very rough spot. But not the roughest, unfortunately. The rest of the team wasn't there. That seems to be the story of this game so far, is that PO finds good openings, gets good stuff, and it's either in a really unfortunate situation where he couldn't know what was going on, or the complete opposite. Yeah, well, it's like it was a really good situation, except for he didn't have his team there. Psychic Bob looking to get an opening and push some towers down. That is how the Lone Star do. PO looking for an opening with his stuff as well. Kennex going to get out a snipe on at least one person. So right now, like I mentioned, the blue team is a little bit more static. They're a little bit more content to sit back and do the push game and let Swiggins just keep people in place. You know, be the centerpiece of these fights instead of, you know, the main part of it. Wilbo Baggy and PO having a bit of a duel down here. But the blue team is perfectly content to sit back and just let the creeps push for them. On the other team, they really want to get these ganks off. And right now, the ganks are not coming, but what is coming is the farm. And that's the main thing that they're looking for. If they can get farm on the Vinny and a little bit of farm on Swiggins, not much. Not even that much. They just need a touch. With that farm, they should be able to actually do a lot of more damage, and that burst is what's going to carry them through the game. Whereas characters like Raylan and stuff on SKC, it's just going to be a rougher game later for them because they won't have that same level of instant burst. Lots of damage coming out. Nelodonte doing a lot of work. He's looking for the chase onto Wilbo Baggy. He's not going to end up finding it, unfortunately. And the 2 members who are very low for Team SKC end up getting away just. So they had a chance to get on the board, but Team Gallo couldn't quite clinch the deal. Team SKC looking really good right now. The momentum is definitely in their hands in terms of who's got the kills. What's interesting is the lane equilibrium is currently very much a mix. Oh, PO gets completely sandwiched and murderfied. Very well done. Wilbo Baggy trying to get away from this Vinny and Lone Star combo, and he's going to get away just fine. Lone Star going to just defend his creep wave, like defend his tower as best as he can. Now right now the tower equilibrium is such that yes, SKC is winning that. They're doing a really good job of keeping the towers of their towers safe and sound, and the other towers are taking some damage. But all things considered, really, like, with the kill lead that they've got, I'm surprised that they aren't doing more on that front. They've got Raylan. Raylan can push really, really well just because she lane clears so hard. So I'm actually quite surprised to see that the way it is. A really good bullpen coming out, but it's not quite enough. Grapple, no drop out of PO. PO then drops to get away. He's going to end up being fine. Dave looking for an opening on somebody. He's managed to find Bob. He takes a Trinamite to the face in return, though. And is he going to get away from the snipe? Yes, he is. Snipe just barely missing his coattails. Now Dante picking up, or I think he picked up the invis. Someone did. And then it was immediately burned, I suppose. Kennex looking for a snipe, doesn't end up finding anything. Now, one thing that's really helping with all this momentum that I've been mentioning so far has been that Nello Dante on Team Gallo has access to Cloud. Cloud being a really good way to just screw over pushes. And he ends up dashing the anchor there. Kennex looking to get away. Going to survive just because Raylan's that fast. Snipe comes out, manages to lane clear. Nello Dante then puts out Cloud, and that's the end of that. Wilbo Baggy gets grapple dropped. Is he going to get caught? No, he is not. Red team playing very safe right now. SKC takes the first turret of the game as well. So they have first blood, 6 extra, like 5 other kills, and the first turret. Right now they are looking extremely strong, taking position to take this match of this entire series right here and right now. Nello Dante looking in for a dash, but no dice. So far, teams are just kind of bouncing off each other. Nello Dante ends up picking up the invis and a couple of dynamite to the face. No big deal there. He's gonna get away. He's gonna get away. No one's gonna really chase him if he's invisible. Nello Dante's scouting for something. He's just looking. He's gonna dash here. He's gonna put down a Cloud, and he's gonna body block a little bit. That might have been disastrous. Oh, he might have been dead, but no dice. The Trinamite just ends up missing. And now there's going to be a little duel between Psychic Bob and Dave up there. Wilbo Baggy taking a bit of extra damage from another Trinamite that came around too. Kennex looking for an opening. Psychic Bob looking to push. They're taking full advantage of this extra bit of momentum, but a really good bullpen into a grapple drop means that Kennex is extremely low. Is he finally going to die? No, but Wilbo Baggy ends up going down to Dave's fastest blaster in the West. And this puts the red team finally on the board. Psychic Bob coming in from behind and putting out a little bit of extra backdoor damage. Oh, grapple drop coming out, but it's not going to be enough to stop the Lunester. Lunester does not care. So Psychic Bob doing a good job of just doing what he can to do some damage to those turrets, keeping the lanes clear, doing everything he can as a Lone Star to beat out the other Lone Star in terms of how active he is. But that was the first kill for Team Gallo there. I'm expecting that is going to be the start of something new. I hope it is anyway, because they need to come back out of this. If they want to make this if they want to take this series, they're gonna have to work at it. And SKC is not going to make it easy for them. SKC is really looking towards making this a really quick series for them. PO gonna be hurt a little bit. Dash coming out on the entire blue team. That was a really well placed dash, all things considered. But that's going to be it. They just bounce up off of each other. So, back to another game of Footsie Nuts. Nello Dante going in. What is he doing? He gets almost grapple dropped. And thanks to his flighty little fish wings, he's going to get away just fine. Grapple drop coming out on Psychic Bob. Psychic Bob going to get bullpenned into the tower. What an unfortunate series of events. That was painful to watch. He tried to jump, just couldn't get past it. Right, he couldn't get past here and landed right back in the bull. So, that ended up getting him killed. So that's the second kill on the board for Team Gallo. Now this game is starting to look like it's a little bit more interesting. The blue team's momentum seems to have somewhat stalled, interestingly enough. SKC still in the lead by a fair amount, by several hundred solar on each person, actually. The only person who's behind, now I think about it, is their Swiggins. Their Swiggins, Wilbo Baggy, sitting at 1,400 solar. And it looks like the first turret's going to go down for the red team. Wow, that was impressive. That little power play without Lone Star meant that they really had no ability to push people off, which is odd. You'd think that Raylan has the ability to lane clear like that, but just not in that case. Nello Dante thinking better coming down here into Team SKC's just push coming right in it, but they're ready. Grapple into drop into Nello Dante almost gets picked off. SKC cursing their terrible luck. Gallo gets a really good bullpen off, gets Kennex and a dash into Trinomite, ends up picking off the other team's Raylan. Psychic Bob looking for an opening. He's going to bull. It's not going to do anything, and now he gets caught in a bad spot. That is what needed to happen a bit earlier. So, Team Gallo now on the field in terms of kills. They now have a decent amount of solar. In fact, that's what's really interesting about this game, is that the solar level was not actually that big of a difference, like was not that huge of a difference before. Let's check their items and see what exactly is going on there. On the red team, there is one solar item. Someone has a solar tree. And there is also solar cloud on the Vinny. So it's not all about the kills. It's not all about the lane creeps that they're both kind of being equalitarian on. The blue team also has a similar amount of solar, though. They've got a solar tree on Swiggins, which is kind of important. And then they've got flashy glasses on Raylan. Plus, Raylan just eats waves for breakfast. So I really don't know why there wasn't a bigger solar gap. I'd have to really think about that. But at the end of the day, the red team doing a good job of staying in the game and then picking up on advantages where proposed. So now SKC looking like they're a bit on their back foot. They need to play it safe. If I were Team SKC right now, I'd be very willing to go into heavy Rift build or something like that. Just so that way this primarily aggressive team has to go into a really unfavorable situation or environment every time that they initiate. So in terms of item pickups, nothing really out of the ordinary. We've got a Blaster and everything on Lone Star coming up. Trinamites on both Lone Stars. We've got pills coming out on both of the Swiggins, plus anchor damage. Really nothing too surprising. Okay, here we go, a little bit of initiation. But it's going to end up coming to nothing, really. Now Dante getting grapple drops. He's going to dash in there. He's going to get right back out. He manages to dodge the snipe, too. So that fight ended up sort of going equally? I don't know. Excuse me, folks. Alright, so Kennex looking to get a snipe. Snipe hits two people. That's a lot of damage. If the blue team wanted to go in, now would be about the time. Dave W taking a lot of damage, but Psychic Bob mispredicts where he's going to go. PO in the wrong spot at the wrong time? He ends up getting a kill on Kennex, and he's going to try to get away. He's trying his best. Nello Dante getting a dash where he can, and a drop happens on Wilbo Baggy. So there's going to be no follow-up, really. Psychic Bob wants to go in, but he knows that he's in a rough spot if he tries to go in on this Vinny. This Vinny can really hurt him. Trimite coming out, grapple hitting Dave, but that's going to be about it. Nello Dante pushing the creeps out of his cloud by accident. So right now it looks like SKC is on their back foot, which is interesting. That's one of the things with Raylan I find, is that Raylan ends up creating a very defensive team, and you need to build around that sometimes. And they try to. Like, they try to go Swiggins into Snipe into all this other great stuff. And the thing about Raylan is that she can lane clear extremely well, which is important in this map. Psychic Bob picking up the invis, so he can probably surprise somebody. He gets Trinamited out of nowhere. Nello Dante taking a lot of extra damage, but the Cloud giving him some extra solar to stay alive. Two Snipe coming out. That's going to be the end of that little footsie initiation, I guess. Yeah, there we go. A little bit of harassment happening on both sides. You know what? Casting this game is probably the hardest game to cast in the world. Or one of them, I would say, because there's so much going on all the time. There's never a moment of respite. Gallow's PL looking for an opening. Psychic Bob going to go ahead and try to get in there as well. Now Dante probably in a wrong spot for what he wants to do, but maybe not. He gets a dash off. There's a Trinamite as well, and the Lone Star on the other team. Psychic Bob is going to get away just fine. Gallo PL looking for a little bit of HP. He manages to find it off of the creeps. Now Dante looking for the same. Puts out a cloud. It ends up getting him a few solar, which gives him a few monies, which is good. Gives him some money. Gives him some HP. It's all gravy for everybody. Now this invis happens. Now Dante ends up picking it up, so now they got an invisible Vinny. That's an invisible 70 damage pretty much whenever they want it. Wilbo Baggy looking like in the wrong spot. Cloud coming out. It's got silence. There's going to be a lot of damage that heads out on everybody here. That fight ended up actually being comparatively very anticlimactic. Nothing ended up happening. Trying my heading two people at once. Kennex and Wilbo Baggy are going to take that 60 damage and run with it. Nello Dante putting out a cloud. Silence happening with Lone Star, so you can't quite try to bite this thing when you want to. Gallo PO looking for an opening. Couldn't quite land it. Dash coming out. PO goes down. Wow, that was a really quick turnaround between grapple drop, Trinamite. It's just so much damage. That is a ton of extra damage. And I need more water. But as you guys can see, right now they are pushing down this bottom tower. Team SKC wants to wrest control of this match back. They absolutely have to. They do not want to let this Vinny gain a foothold in terms of his solar. Vinny's late game is absolutely frightening, especially against the Raylan, who is fairly immobile. For her big 75 damage ability, she can't move. And if anybody's been playing Derpal, you guys know how important it is when you can't move. Tower goes down, but they don't end up getting the last hit. So as a result, the Team Gallow is going to be able to pick up that tower gold on the ground, which ends up being about 50 solar for somebody, for some lucky somebody. So that's a bad situation, but it could have been a lot worse. That's effectively as close to denying as you get in this game, is picking up your team's solar, you know? And then both the teams kind of reset back to this I'm waiting for you to make a mistake moment. Invis coming out on the Vinny Cloud, so now they can start up fights in a very interesting way. Lots of damage coming out on everybody. Trinamite hitting the Dave. Dave is going to get away just fine, though. Wilbo Baggy looking for an opening. Invis coming out on Eladante to help his PO get away. He's going to dash the other way with Wilbo Baggy continuing to go off to the right. So, and now they're dealing with a super droid down here. Oh, could there be a thing here? Neladante looking for a kill. Kashik, oh, not Kashik, Kenix getting reconnected, unfortunately. Taking a bit of damage. Neladante dishing out. Grapple coming out. Nothing really going to happen past that. Snipe's going to hit. Nothing. Trinamite hitting Wilbo Baggy. Right now, it's like getting kicked to death by a canary. That's what this game is like. You're just watching a bunch of people trying to kick each other to death with tiny little beaky kicks. Oh, Dash hitting one person, not both people, and he manages to cloud out of there safe and sound. And both teams are set to this footsie knot position. However, the red team is in a better pushing position, lane equilibrium in their favor. Grapple, no drop out of Wilbo Baggy. Oh, there's a drop now! That cloud not going to be enough to completely save Neladante, but it is. Trinamite coming out. It's not going to hit anything except for that flying droid, and everything kind of resets. Both teams end up having one character who takes a bunch of damage, but Vinny recovering extremely quickly. He's already got all of his HP back. He must have picked up the HP pack in the middle here. Kenix might be in a bad spot. Oh, no, it looks like PO's the one in the bad spot. He gets grappled. He gets dropped. Is he going to go down? No, he's not. He's chasing Wilbo Baggy. Wilbo Baggy was the one in the bad spot, it turns out. It seems like whoever initiates first gets murdered out of these two. Uh-oh, Psychic Bob gets caught in between PO and in between Nello Dante. But PO ends up dying for it. So poor PO being the sacrificial lamb for Gallo right here. Snipe coming out and going to hit the Vinny. The Vinny's going to go ahead and pick up all that freaking HP from those creeps, though. So he's going to be just fine. So the team sort of reset. It's now 7-9. The match is currently in Team Gallow's favor, where they have the majority of the turret damage on the second rank of turrets here. Dash coming out, hitting a bunch of people. Wilbo Baggy looking for an opening. He just misses his grapple drop. If that had hit, oh, that could have been a dead Vinny, but it's tough. It's tough. Swiggins is a very interesting pick against Vinny, just because he's one of the best characters and simultaneously worst characters for it. If you can get a grapple drop onto Vinny, that's great, but then past that, you need team support to be able to make that work. Whereas the other Swiggins, PO, doesn't have to work so hard to hit his opponents. He's going in, gets off a couple of shots, puts out a drop. Sorry, Psychic Bob looking like he's caught out somewhat. But yeah, everyone's going to be perfectly fine. So let's take a look at the upgrades that we've bought up so far. Blaster damage coming out on Raylan. Shield. Oh, Kenix getting dashed to death after a good grapple drop and a really good body block out of PO. Excellent job. Poor Kenix getting caught out there as he was just trying to get between lanes. Wilbo Baggy gets grapple dropped, but unfortunately the chain is just a little bit too long, allowed him to get past the force field. So right now, red team looking to put out some damage. Psychic Bob tried to put out a bull. It just wasn't enough. It just couldn't quite hit. Man, every time I try talking about picks, action starts up again. Maybe I should just feign talking about item pickups next time that it gets, you know, a bit too footsie naughty for my liking. Trinamite coming out. It's going to hit the tower and those creeps. Okay, now. Well, we got time. Oh, no, I don't have time. See, I feigned it. Snipe coming out is going to hit PO. PO is just going to die on the tail end of the blaster. Neladante looking to get a little bit of damage on the tower while he's going Gonna get a dash. It's not gonna really hit Kennex, and he can't, unfortunately, get those 2 creeps. Psychic Bob gonna just bounce up there. He's gonna be perfectly fine. Now, Team SKC knows that this is their chance to put out some real momentum, to deal some real damage to these towers. They are backdooring this thing as hard as they possibly can, taking turns to tank the damage. Snipe coming out, a really good bullpen coming out of SKC as well. But they still need to be careful. Now Dante might be low on HP, but if he gets in there without getting hurt too badly, his Cloud will heal him right back up. PO looking for an option here. And now here's where the game really starts. Now Dante is going to go back and he's going to get some HP from the fountain, from the creeps off of his Cloud. And the momentum is now in favor of SKC. They've completely turned it around after that last fight. And we'll see if he can keep it up. Dash hits both Psychic Bob and Kennex. Now Dante is looking for a kill. Wilbo Baggy might be that death, however, as he gets caught out by a grapple drop, and he gets caught out by literally everything else. Unfortunately, his grapple to get away just wasn't enough. Now Dante taking a 75 damage snipe, and he's looking for a kill onto Kennex, but he gets rifted, so he's gonna have to get away just fine. He's gonna get away just fine, easily. But yeah, don't fight around on the rift when you're Vinny. You take so long to get out of rifts. Just get out of it as soon as you can, whichever way you get out of it. Be glad that you got out of it in the first place. Now Dante looking to steal both creeps, and successfully. So he picks up a little bit of extra solar and all of his HP back. SKC's brief period of momentum, unfortunately, was really well played, but unfortunately Wilbo Baggy just couldn't get out of there alive, and I think that that's what's causing them to lose their ground right now. Without that Swiggins to kind of start things up, it's a little difficult to do anything that you want to do. Psychic Bob gets a decent bullpen, actually. Really good bullpen, just unfortunately no one in the right place at the right time. SKC was looking to be able to pick up a kill on Nello Dante. That was an excellent bullpen out of Psychic Bob. Like, all kudos. That would have been perfect if there was just a little bit more follow-up. Dash coming out. Psychic Bob going to have to run away. The entire blue team being silenced. That silence is playing havoc with their ability to do really anything. It's pretty brutal. And SKC just fighting to keep their lanes clear. But what's interesting is that both teams have a fairly effective amount of damage on both towers, although there is a slight advantage in favor of Team Gallo. Oh, there's an anchor drop and everything, but nothing else happened. Psychic Bob trying to get a bullpen off of Nello Dante again, but it's not going to end up happening. Kennex taking a lot of damage. Is he going to go down? No, he's not. He gets protected by his friends, and they're going to get out just fine. Lots of damage happening. Now, the red team knows that this bottom turret is low. They should be going for it. And the blue team knows that they should be there. So whether or not they're going to have they should have like 2 people down here and doing all this other stuff, or maybe they should just let it go, and it's going to let it go. Frozen here in Awesomenauts. Okay, that's a bad joke. Never happening again. Anyway, the bottom tower goes down in favor of Team Gallo. Team SKC now holding on by a thread. If this last turret goes down, then it's likely going to be game over, but we don't know for sure. Cloud coming out, lots of solar coming in for Nello Dante. On top of that, have a lot of life. Bullpen coming out, pushing Kennex all the way back out of this fight. Nello Dante looking to get another dash. He almost gets Wilbo Baggy. Wilbo Baggy's going to get out of there just fine. Nello Dante in a bit of a rough spot, though. Psychic Bob is trying to fight on Trinamite, but he's going to get caught out instead. Oh, good bullpen coming out on the PO. Is he going to get away? PO says no! He gets a grapple. He gets a drop. He gets some shots in, but those shots might end up costing him his life. Kennex gets away again. Oh, sorry. No, like, they get away again, and P.O. almost dies for it. And no, he does end up dying for it. Kennex is going to end up getting away because Rift is really strong. And that was an unfortunate series of events. That seems to be the story for poor P.O. on that Swiggins today. He can't catch a break in this map. Every time he's about to get a kill, he ends up getting cornered and killed. I have to wonder where the rest of his team went. Unfortunately, Gallo just not together on that one either. That is the story here. A series of unfortunate events starring P.O., who just was at the wrong place at the wrong time without the right people. Team SKC, on the other hand, their story is we sat here and we found kills. And they've been doing a really good job of it. Time Rift's coming out, although maybe he should have put it out where the Vinny was. Lots of damage coming out. Psychic Bob getting bulled back into the thing. Wilbo Baggy gets caught out by Dave. Grapple. Is there going to be a drop? There is a drop. Kennex is now stuck. No matter how many boots you've got, you can't break that chain. But she's running. She's running as fast as she can. Is she going to be able to get away? Oh, yeah, just the Trinamite just not able to hit, and that drop cooldown just not there. Now Dante looking to at least get some residual harassment out on to Psychic Bob. And they're going just straight for the core. Dave is going to go ahead and put out some pressure on this top tower and tank it while the other two distract. But it looks like this is the situation here. Psychic Bob taking a bunch of extra damage. Is he going to go down? Yes, to dash. Kenix looking to get away. Is he going to be able to succeed? Oh, there's a snipe coming out. Now Dante gets picked off by a really well-placed snipe, and now it's 2-on-1. Oh, wait, no, never mind. 2-on-2. Wilbo Baggy's back in this one. He's looking to get an anchor drop on to at least PO, but they're not going to be able to find anything, unfortunately. The grapple just hitting the bull, and that's the end of that story. So, Team Gallo ends up actually picking up the top tower in the meantime. I guess that's what Dave was busy doing in a good chunk of that. And Wilbo Baggy is just doing his best to knock out these creep waves now. So, right now, things are looking in favor of Gallo, despite the fact that they don't have as many kills. They do have more turrets. They have more push. They seem to be winning these team fights a little bit more frequently now. Especially considering that the disparity between the kills and everything was pretty huge. It was like 7-0 before Gallo finally got their first kill. SKC proving really dominating in the early part of this match. Can they go ahead and turn this around, though, is the trick. And that's a little tough to say, because Vinny is a really strong late game character. He goes in with a dash, he goes in with the cloud. He gets sniped. We sat here, we found kills. But oh ho ho, that's not all that's happening. Dave manages to get off a really good Trinamite. Poor Kenix getting caught up by way too many dynamite sticks. Psyche Bob taking another Trinamite. He's on fire, but he's going to get away just fine. Wilbo Baggy looking to run away as fast as he can. PO looking for that kill. He gets a grapple, but he's not going to get it. Oh, he gets dropped. And Wilbo Baggy's going to get... Oh, he's not going to get away just right there and then. He's trying to teleport back to base. The base getting pummeled right now as Dave and Pio go, you know what? We don't need that kill. We can just punch this in the face. And they succeed in doing so. Bull pushing Wilbo Baggy back. And that's going to be that. Wow, what a finish. Who needs the kill? Just go for objectives, man. And that's what ended up happening. It's funny because at the end of that, the total solar for both teams was relatively even, despite the huge advantage that well, the SKC should have started off with. I'm really surprised that that original start turned into this kind of finish. And in both cases, the Lone Stars were the main damage dealers for the team, but that's probably due to lane clearing and stuff. So at the end of the day, this was a really close match, and a really surprising one at that. Gallo coming back after a really rough start, thanks to what I guess can only be the picks between Vinny and Raylan. Raylan had the strong early game, which happened, and then Vinny had the strong late game, which happened. So, mirror matches with one difference. That one difference made all the difference. Anyway, thank you everybody so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be casting the third match, so go ahead and stay tuned. Go ahead and watch that. That will be linked to the description below. And we shall see who takes this series. Is it going to be SKC? Or is it going to be Gallo? In either case, both these teams equally skilled. It's going to be an extremely entertaining match. I'll see you guys there.